What's up, Taiwan? I'm Yvonne with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's military says a record number of Chinese nuclear-capable bombers flew near the country on Tuesday. They were among 29 planes spotted near Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ. The zone is not the country's territory, but it serves as a buffer for security purposes. 21 of those planes breached the southwest corner of the zone, including 18 bombers, the highest number of bombers ever recorded. China often sends warplanes into Taiwan's ADIZ as a form of a political pressure, with more than 1,600 incursions so far this year, also a record. The military says it's monitoring the situation. For more on these incursions, Jaime Okong spoke to Ben Lewis, an independent analyst based in Washington, D.C., who tracks Chinese military activity around Taiwan.
What can you tell us about the latest incursions? And have we seen something like this before in the ADIZ?
So today, the MND put out a release saying that there were 21 Chinese aircraft in the ADIZ, and 18 of those aircraft were H-6 strategic bombers. This is the highest number of H-6s we've seen in one day. The closest we have is 12 back in October of 2021, on the day we had the highest number of aircraft in the ADIZ ever. But this is very significant in my opinion. It's the highest number we've seen, as I mentioned, and it clearly demonstrates that the PLA is conducting some kind of major strike exercise, either counterintervention or strikes against Taiwan itself. And it's a way for them also to see, how does Taiwan react to this kind of thing?
Can you talk about the current situation and the situation this year in the ADIZ concerning the amount of Chinese aircraft intruding into Taiwan's ADIZ?
Counting today's release, we're at 1,613 aircraft tracked in the ADIZ so far in 2022. And as you mentioned, this is a much higher number than last year. We were at 972 and much higher than previous years. And it clearly shows that the PLA's attempts to pressure Taiwan are escalating. The number of violations and the amount of aircraft tracked in those violations are increasing. And I think it demonstrates a clear intent by the PLA to continue to put pressure on Taiwan and degrade Taiwanese sovereignty. In general, the flight path today was kind of a diagonal angle along the southwest corner of the ADIZ near Pratas. There's been a higher quantity of aircraft operating near Pratas in the last week or so. In general, H-6s tend to either fly an extended route to the southeast portion of the ADIZ or do a very kind of standard short incursion, either over the medial line or into the southwest, along with other special mission and support aircraft.
Taiwan's executive branch this week defended a policy of offering subsidies to remove statues of the country's former president, Chiang Kai-shek. As Greek Glower reports, it has reignited debate over one of the most controversial figures in the nation's history.
This is Taiwan's former president, Chiang Kai-shek, a controversial figure inseparable from the nation's history. He ran Taiwan as a dictatorship. Now, in a bid to tackle the country's authoritarian past, the government is giving subsidies of more than $3,000 to remove statues dedicated to him. This week, the executive branch explained their new policy in the legislature.
学校有一些威权象征也要处理。内政部主责，他现在因为才半年了哈，提出一些计划，要补助也好，或者要怎么样迁移也好哈，再由内政部规划去办理了。
Chiang Kai-shek retreated to Taiwan with 2 million of his nationalist forces from China after losing a civil war against the Chinese Communist Party. He ruled over Taiwan from 1949 with an iron fist, killing hundreds of political opponents in brutal crackdowns. But he also transformed the country into a manufacturing powerhouse, making Taiwan one of Asia's fastest-growing economies by the 1970s. He ruled until his death in 1975. Hundreds of statues like this one are in public places all across Taiwan. For some people, they represent an important part of the country's history, but for others, they're a painful reminder of violent political oppression. The government says they run counter to Taiwan's identity as a free and liberal democracy and wants them to go. Since coming to power in 2016, President Taiwan has sought to right the wrongs of the country's authoritarian past. She set up a commission that has reclaimed ill-gotten gains, pardoned people charged with political crimes, and removed statues and images of the dictator Chiang. The government's been offering subsidies to encourage schools, local administrations, and other organisations to take down their statues. But in the 2 weeks since the programme was launched, there have been no applications. This leading high school in the capital Taipei is keeping its bronze Chiang Kai-shek statue. Its principal says it can be used to teach the students about the country's history. Across the capital, Chiang Kai-shek remains a divisive figure.
这个人是最让我们很尊敬的人，怎么拆掉干嘛呢？
虽然可能会有点政治上的问题，但是在我心中，我认为它放在这边是很有意义的。
大现在已经都民主了，民主的社会，所以不必要也再留这个东西。
但我觉得其实它都已经散去，就是那个思想都已经散去了，所以没有现在的话没有什么大影响。
Whether for good or for bad, Chiang Kai-shek's impact on Taiwan is indisputable, and the debate over removing his statues is keeping this controversial legacy alive. Rick Yi and Rick Lauert for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is considering expanding a public sector ban on Chinese app TikTok to include all branches of government. Right now, only the cabinet and government ministries are blocked from using the platform. But for data security reasons, officials want to prohibit downloads in the legislature and courts too. Stash Butler has the story.
TikTok has 1.2 billion active users. It's the world's fastest growing social media platform. But the app, which is owned by Chinese company ByteDance, has come under global scrutiny for how it manages data. That's pushed Taiwan's cabinet to suggest banning TikTok in all branches of government and take any other steps necessary to protect data security.
其他的院他们的处理的情形也要整体了解，还有做法上面单用禁止可能效果不够了，比如说在公共的区域网络的范围内做一些技术上的处理。
The app is already banned in Taiwan's executive branch. The country's president Tsai Ing-wen says she considers potential data breaches a national security issue.
治安就是国安，一直是我们整个执政团队的重要的信念。一方面，希望能够提升全民对错假讯息的辨识的能力；另一方面，也持续强化国家层级的资讯安全。
China sees Taiwan as part of its territory and has not ruled out taking the island nation by force. But short of invasion, Beijing uses cyber attacks and online misinformation as part of what experts call grey zone warfare, aimed at wearing the population down psychologically. Some Taiwanese lawmakers worry TikTok could leak sensitive information to Beijing or spread harmful misinformation. And Taiwan is not alone in these concerns. TikTok is already banned in India and Bangladesh. And last week, Texas Governor Greg Abbott made his state the fifth in the US to ban the app on government devices. As data security expert Jia Shihao explains, if data of people's online habits is available to attackers, it can often be exploited.
攻击来讲，往往就是针对你所常去的或你喜欢的地方，那它可以先做一些情报的一些的布局，然后它直接去做一些的这个埋伏啊，或者在里面去放一些后门。
TikTok says it has never shared information with the Chinese government nor censored content at its request. But that hasn't stopped lawmakers in Taiwan from calling for an outright ban. If the digital ministry agrees in a report due this month, TikTok's dizzying rise may begin to encounter an increasing number of obstacles. Klein Wang and Stash Butler for TaiwanPlus.
Xueshan, Taiwan's second tallest mountain, got its first snow of the year on Monday. The snow arrived as winds from the northeast brought lower temperatures and moisture. Authorities in charge of the mountain said a video taken Monday morning showed 45 centimeters of snow on the ground. It's a sign that winter is arriving in Taiwan. The Central Weather Bureau reported a cold front will arrive over the weekend, with temperatures in Taipei set to fall below 10 degrees Celsius. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of Formula One world champion Max Verstappen and his Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez doing donuts for fans in the UK to celebrate the team's success in 2022. I'm Yvonne. Take care and see you next time.